Hello everyone, we've got the final question here of Mechanics 2023 for Edexcel, and this is question 6, and we have got a statics question here, I believe. There it is, let's have a look. So it says the rod AB has a mass m and a length 2a. The rod has its end A on horizontal ground and its end B against a smooth vertical wall. The rod makes an angle theta with the ground as shown in figure 3. The rod is resting in equilibrium. State the direction left or right on figure 3 above of the frictional force acting on the rod at A, and give a reason for your answer. Well, the frictional force is going to be acting towards the wall. And the reason for that is when we resolve horizontally, we've only got the force F and we've got the force S, and they're in equilibrium. And S is acting away from the wall, so therefore for the system to be in equilibrium, the friction must be acting towards the wall. So that's what we would say for our 1 mark there. The magnitude of the normal reaction on the wall, on the rod, at B is S. In an initial model, the rod is modelled as being uniform. Use this initial model to answer parts B, C and D. By taking moments about A, show that S is equal to 1/2 mg cot theta. So they want us to take moments about A. Well, first of all, let's make sure we've got our sketch set up properly, which is always appropriate in mechanics. So we've got our uniform rod. It's of length 2A and it's uniform. So that means the centre of mass is acting at the centre. So that distance is A and that distance is A. The question tells us that the reaction at the wall is S. We have an angle of theta. We have this angle here is an alternate angle, so that is also theta. Again, this angle here is theta, and we draw a line like that. We draw a line like that one. Sometimes students get confused about knowing how to draw this line that I'm indicating with the pencil now. But we draw it like that because we need to resolve perpendicular to the rod when we're taking moments, okay? So we've got our friction acting towards the wall, our normal reaction there. So we're ready now to take moments about A, as the question's recommending that we should do. So let's take moments about A. And I've put that my clockwise turning moments are going to equal my anti-clockwise turning moments because we're in equilibrium. So what have we got going clockwise? Clockwise, we've got the component of the weight is going to be mg cos theta, because this side is the adjacent in this triangle. And it's going to be times the distance. So that is A times mg cos theta is the clockwise turning moment. The anti-clockwise turning moment is going to be all the way up here at 2A. So it's going to be 2A times by S, but times by sine, because we want the component that's we want the component that's perpendicular to the rod. Okay, so it's going to be 2A times by S times by sine of theta there. Okay, that's fine. So let's write that down. So we've got 2A times by S times by sine theta. So we can cancel out A because it's in both sides of the equation, and we can divide both sides by 2 sine theta, okay, in order to get the S as the subject. Now we get cos divided by sine is cot, and we can rewrite that as 1/2 mg cot theta as required. Okay, so that is part B done for 3 marks. Right, what's next? The coefficient of friction between the rod and the ground is mu. Given that tan alpha is equal to 3/4, find the value of mu. 5 marks. So we've got a lot of marks here. So we might expect this to be, it could be quite complicated, but we'll see whether or not it is. So step 1, they've told us that tan theta is 3/4. So therefore we can draw a little triangle and we can say that sine theta must be 3/5 and that cos theta must be 4/5. Okay, now let's, at this point, I think it could be useful to resolve vertically and resolve horizontally, and let's see what we get. So resolving vertically, if I bring back my sketch, resolving vertically, what have we got? We've got our force R acting up and we've got our mg acting down. This force is entirely horizontal, so it has no component acting vertically. So resolving vertically, we just have R equals mg. Resolving horizontally, what forces have we got in acting horizontally? We've got F going to the right, and we have S going to the left, but those are the only two forces there. So we can say that F is equal to S. Okay. Well, I think let's start. We know quite a bit about S, don't we? Because we know from part B that S is a half mg cot theta, and we know that F is equal to mu r, and we want to try and find out what mu is, and we know what r is. So why don't we just start subbing in all of this information and see how far that gets us. So we've got that F is mu r, but remember we know that r is mg. We've got that S on the right hand side, which we already know is a half mg cot theta. So, you know, it would appear this is looking quite good. We can cancel out the m's, we can cancel out the g's as well, leaving us with mu is equal to 1/2 times by 4/3. Oh yeah, because now if we know that tan theta is 3/4 and cot theta is 1/tan, that means that cot is 4/3. Okay, so we know that cot theta is 4/3. So we've got everything we need. So therefore, mu is equal to 2/3. Now, I personally think that was quite a nice 5 marks, definitely, especially in the last question on the paper. Okay, so we found the value of mu. Now, part D, find in terms of M and G the magnitude of the resultant force acting on the rod at A. Now, the key word there is the word magnitude, okay? So what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about, here's our rod, like that. It's acting against our wall. We've got our resultant force there, S. We have the normal there, force acting R, the reaction force there R, and we've got F acting towards the wall. Now, these two forces combine to give us a resultant force. So the combined effect of R and F, you could replace them by a single resultant force that's acting at some angle that we don't know, parallel, some angle from the horizontal that we don't know. So I've just put that on there just to illustrate what we're talking about. And how do we find the resultant force? Well, the key word there, they've said in the question, is the word magnitude. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the F component, square it, take the R component from the normal reaction, square it, add them together and square root it, and that will give us our resultant force. Okay, so let's see, what do we know? We know that F is mu R. Okay, so we know mu now is 2/3, and we know that R is mg. And R, as I say there, is mg. So we can sub in the F and we can sub in the R into this expression here, that resultant is R squared plus F squared. And that gives us our resultant is equal to 2/3 mg squared plus mg squared. So we can take out a common factor of m squared g squared from there, and that would leave us with 2/3 add 1. 2/3 squared add 1 squared, I should say. 1 squared is 1, 2/3 squared is 4/9, 1 add 4/9 is 13/9, and then we've got to square root this whole thing, so we get mg root 13/3 when we square root that. And that's the answer for our resultant force. Our resultant force is mg root 13/3. Okay, perfect. Right, that was quite nice. Right, let's have a look at this last little bit now. It says, in a new model, the rod is modelled as being non-uniform, with the centre of mass closer to B than it is to A. A new value for S is calculated using this model with tan theta is equal to 3/4. State whether or not this new value of S is larger, smaller, or equal to the value of S that we would take using the initial model. Give a reason for your answer. Well, let's have a look and think about this in our revised sketch. So we now know that the centre of mass is not at the middle anymore like it was. It's somewhere in this portion where it's closer to B. Now, if you remember, when we were taking moments about A, let's have a look at that actually. So when we took moments about A, what did we have? Well, we had that we had A times by mg cos theta, okay, and then we had 2A times by s sine theta. Now, nothing's changed on this side of the equation apart from the fact that s is bigger, well, actually, we don't know S is bigger. We're going to try and conclude what's going on there. So on this side of the equation, the 2's the same, the A is the same, and the sign's the same. We're going to think about what happens to that. Over on the left-hand side of the equation, what's changed? The mass is the same, G is the same, cos is the same. The only thing that's changed is this is bigger, okay? Because it's further away. It's not A now, it's bigger than A. So that has increased, that has, okay? Now we've got an equation here. So the only way it can stay in equilibrium, if that side of the equation increases, this side must increase. And the only way that this side can increase is if S goes up. Okay, so that's our answer. The answer for one mark to the last bit is S would be larger as the moment of mg about A would be bigger. Because we've got a larger value for A, so this moment is going to be bigger. It's all still in equilibrium, so that means that this S must be larger. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. That concludes this particular paper for Mechanics 2023, and I'll see you in the next video.